Hello and welcome back to chapter 4, lecture number 15. We continue with the building and we'll start working with making hatches. So I already introduced what I was planning to make. That's this type of hatches. But instead of using iron bars, I will use a wooden design. So it will look different than that one. Simply, I don't want to focus on iron material. So go to the third layer. So this is our workspace. And yeah, you can disable the image. It's maybe a little bit distracting. So I start with a cube, mesh cube, and drag this to the middle. Tap edit mode as Z and make it smaller. As C. As Y. So now we have a nice looking plank. And we're going to add a bevel. Control B. So right there. Control R. 3 edge lines and 1 over there. We're going to pick a material. I want to pick plank 5 door because that's the one without the advanced node setup. But of course, these planks need to smart UV projection without stretching. Yes, that looks really good. S, Y, and scale this. Okay, I want these little parts to be there, so I can put these where I wanted to have them. All right, this plank, let's use this one. Okay, and now we can scale these as well. S, Y, good. Quick look, texture. So there are nails over there, and I want to have them GY, something like this. So this looks like a nice plank. The next step is let's copy this plank, Shift D, M, and put this in the second layer, because if we need a new plank, we put this in our library. So we do not have to make this over and over again. Okay, so we select the plank, put this in the middle. All right, and press 3. Edit mode, and rotate this a little bit. And Shift D, put this right there. Go for another texture on the plank, on the plank texture. Scale this a bit more. Yes. Check out if that works. Yeah, works really good. And a new duplication. And instead of using different planks, we're just scaling this. Yeah, well, you can see the duplication, not good. So we have to, but because not all the planks are not all looking good. Yeah, that's the same. Let's go for this one. But then we have to make this texture a bit wider. And if we change the texture, then I prefer to make this plank as SY a bit wider, just a little bit, for adding some randomness. And then selecting the middle plank, Shift D, and one more. What should we do with this one? Let's use these textures. SX, and that one, Control L, SX, right there. If you do your texture work right, it looks lovely. Hey, that's wicked. Still duplications. I'm still using the same texture again. All right. And again, there is some very weird looking texture. Okay. For now, the top and the bottom are the same, but for me, that's not a problem. All right, so I want to make a hatch with vertical planks on it as well. Add mesh cube, edit mode, scale the cube, and drag this over here and scale it a bit more as Y, front view as Z, go to this view, drag this a little bit more on top. I do not want a huge bar as Y, and smaller or thicker. Yeah, that looks good. Check the scale. Yes, it's good. And go for a bevel. Yeah, very smooth. We even need to enable smooth. All right. So how can we put this? Yeah. Maybe we rotate this so it's hitting the bottom. It needs to be in line. All right, so we need to apply a texture on this texture as well. I prefer the same look, so Ctrl L, material, and smart UV projection. Okay, well, that looks good. So what should we do? Well, let's go for that one. And some nails on the top and bottom. Yeah. So you can see that on this way we can add nails as well. So using double UV layers. But this is a sort of a present because the nails are already inside of the planks, and well, that saves us a lot of time. So we have one of there. We duplicate this bar, putting it right there, and use a different plank. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, changed a little bit, and I want to add some randomness in this bar, or else it looks too good. Press O, rotate it a bit, because you will see this in the end when you make a nice looking render of your building. They look too good. So let's say we have a hatch. We combine everything, but let's say we want a small version and a big version. So Shift D before we join it, and go to the side. Well, let's move it over there. And I want one more plank. Ctrl L, Shift D, oh, Ctrl Z, turn off O key. Yeah, use different texture. Let's go for this boy. Yes. And we need to extend these bars as well. We will do that by going to material, pressing O, G, make this bigger. But we need to extend the texture as well, or else it will look stretched as O, turn off O, as Y. Have a check if still everything looks good. Well, accept G, turn off O, one more edge line. Yeah, you do not want intersections. All right, so a small hatch and a big hatch. Wowsh. Good, so now we can join it, Ctrl J, same with this one, Ctrl J, and put the origin right there, because we already done that. The origin was already set there, set origin origin geometry. Good, select both of them, M to the first layer, and I want duplicates. It will take some time because it was rendering the building. Shift D and put this in the second layer. We'll call this a library file. Really nice to have it. All right, turn back. And we need to put them in place. So let's take a look. I want this hatch, drag this, go to edit mode and make it turn off proportional editing. Yes. If we look at the reference, what do we see? It's already there on top, and this one is there also open, and I want them to be closed and want to have this bar visible. So let's rotate it. Let's go to the snapping tool and move it. Turn off the snapping tool. Smaller. And SZ. Where are they? Yeah, so it's inside the, or we want, no, we do not want an overlapping. No. Okay, and I want to duplicate this. Shift D. Enable snapping tool. Rotate it. And move it down. Right there. Make this a little bit smaller. I don't really care about the scaling because it only will make the medieval look better. So we select them both, Shift D, and put them over there as well. Nice. Leave this hatch for now, because we are going to use this later in another lecture for the sides. And one more thing, copy these. This is one object, yes, it's one object, and duplicate it over there. All right, because it was an empty hole. I don't want that. Let's move you. I have the duplication in layer 2, so remove it for now. And go to the material. Yeah, so nice looking hatches. Looked really good. So in the next lecture, we will add these on the left and the right. Good. This is the end of lecture 15, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.